This episode is about Go Forth in Peace. Let's delve behind the dots. He's a beautiful boy. He's a beautiful boy. The very first church choral piece that I wrote was a setting of Go Forth into the world in peace. This prayer always reminds me of my student days, my undergraduate days at Hertford College in Oxford. We used to sing Evensong on a Sunday, and the chaplain, Reverend Chantry, would always read this prayer at the very end of the service. There's something very calming about it. It was commissioned by the Reverend Richard Abbott for his ordination service, and it was a very personal piece for me because Richard Abbott was my foster father. So when Richard died at the end of 2022, and I decided to record an album of my choral music, I dedicated it to his memory, and the final track on the album is this setting, Go Forth in Peace. I think even back then, when I was just starting out as a composer, it was for parish church choirs that I was writing in my mind, possibly because that's the kind of choir that I started my musical life singing in. So although I became a professional singer, I love to write music which amateur church choirs can enjoy singing. I love to write with syncopation and with swing and with hints of jazz, but with this piece I thought I'll keep the melody line very simple, very unsyncopated, and put the syncopation in the accompaniment part, which I find works really well. I'm also a huge fan of long consonants. So if you decide to learn this piece with your choir, when you get to the final S of the word peace, just for me, can you not go peace, but peace? I just think it sounds so much more peaceful. I kept the whole of that first verse in unison, upper voices and lower voices in unison. I think unison in choirs is underrated. There's something very special about it, particularly if, as I've done, the second verse, you then go into harmony. You've already heard the tune, you're familiar with it. Then when you hear it again with the harmonies underneath it, it enriches it. So it's a very simple structure to go from unison into harmony, but it works really well, and that's what I've done here. And then for the blessing of God the Father Almighty, the Son, the Holy Ghost, I return to the original tune. But this time with a simple descant above it in the soprano line. It's probably my simplest piece, and it's diatonic throughout. That is to say, it doesn't deviate from the notes of the home key. I think it sounds like a prayer, and it's certainly doable by the most humble of parish church choirs. And I think there's something really beautiful in simplicity. I hope that you will consider singing this setting of Go Forth in Peace with your choir.